What's up, Runaways? We're back for season 2 on AfterBuzz TV, the after show for Runaways on Hulu. So much to talk about. We got to catch up with Alex and the rest of the gang. Stay tuned because there's lots of drama in episodes 1 and 2.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Here we go, y'all. Ooh. Okay, the soundtrack for Runaways, it is amazing. So good.
It really sets the mood.
It fills your soul, guys.
Oh I'm so happy. Like, guys, I've been waiting for almost a month to talk about this with you guys. So let's get right to it. I am joined by this amazing panel of powerful, amazing Runaways. Who might you guys be? Introduce yourselves.
Hey guys, I'm Chae Jones.
And I'm Meagan Lynn.
Oh my gosh, and yes, I'm Ollie Drennan. So, oh my gosh, like I said, I'm so happy to be back. We have so much to talk about. Like, we got to talk about, the cast is huge. We got to talk about Gert, we got to talk about Chase, Alex, Old Lace, the parents. So, what are your guys' first initial thoughts on these 2 episodes?
I'm excited to see some new relationships budding.
My face is like, there's so much I want to say, and I just can't pick one thing I want to say because there's so much in the first 2 episodes that you fall in love with.
Yeah.
If this is how the tone is set, the rest of the season's gonna be lit.
Oh my gosh. You already know, because everything's set up. We have such great representation for the cast, the characters. Runaways was in the early 2000s, and for that to have such an amazing, a diverse cast already, like, this show's woke, okay? Let me just tell you. So yes, guys, if you're joining us live in the chat, let us know your questions, your comments, everything that we might be missing. We love to keep the conversation going. We have lots to talk about. And also, we have a very special giveaway that Chae is going to fill you in at the end of the episode. So you have to stay tuned because we have multiple giveaways this season. So our first topic of the week, we got to talk about our boy Alex and, what he's going on. He's, friends with buddy with Darius. So I think that in season 1, it was kind of a disservice to Alex's character because I think that we didn't get to know him that much in season 1. But I think they did that purposely because Alex is kind of a questionable character. If you know the comics, he has a different fate as opposed to the rest of the Runaways. So what I want to know from you guys, what are your thoughts on Alex's journey so far?
I like this. I like this Alex, obviously, because he is still trying to find out who he is, like we all do when we're teenagers. We're still like they say he's the leader, but he is still trying to find out what being a leader means and how him leading is going to keep them safe from their parents. And that also means, sometimes the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and he knows that Darius and his dad don't get along, so he hopes Darius is not going to rat him out, and he needs money. So who do you go? You go to your favorite drug dealer,
Yeah.
Hey, Darius.
I feel like he's kind of like the quiet leader behind the scenes right now. I feel like he still might be living under his parents' shadow because they're kind of both very bold, like strong characters, and he's a little bit more reserved, but he's making money moves for the group. And I don't think they appreciate him enough. Like, he is supporting them.
I know. I felt bad. They're calling him a mole. So I'm just like, okay.
And I'm like,
questioning him.
And
but
Carolina's just like,
yeah, and
Bring back.
he just lost his girl Nico to Carolina, and I really thought I was questioning Alex by the end of season 1, but now we're seeing he's really trying his best to support the rest of the cast. So I'm like, okay, maybe we can trust Alex. So I actually felt bad that how hard they were coming for him, and even Chase always bullies Alex. I'm like, Chase, calm down, go talk to Gert, calm her down. But it's also nice to see Darius's character fleshed out as well. We think of him as this big old bad gangbanger, but he's an ordinary person at the end of the day behind the walls that Alex had to paint.
Yeah.
So
I love that bit.
he's trying to, oh my God, that bit was great.
It was so
Wasn't
cute.
that so good?
He was ready to go kill someone or something.
he's like, I'm really afraid to see what's behind this door. Because even I was a little afraid for Alex. I'm not going to front. But I mean, it's true. Behind, the gangbanger facade, he has a family to support. And at the end of the day, his woman does wear the shoes in that relationship. Don't get it twisted. Especially when she's pregnant.
Oh, girl.
Darius, if you thought you were running things today, hey, Tamar, how you doing?
I like the seafoam green, though. I'm
sorry. No, it's ugly.
I think Alex has other things to worry about besides repainting right now.
Well, he has Livy to be worried about.
Yeah.
Livy.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about Livy. What are your thoughts on Livy? Because obviously he's just got like kind of he's a little scorned from Nico, I feel like. But he got this new love interest, Livy. Are we trusting her? Can we trust her? What do you guys think?
I think
She
we
seems
can
nice.
trust her, but I don't think she knows what she's getting into.
I think it's a double-edged sword because of how episode 2 ended. So I don't know if she either she's in on it or she's just being like a little like being pulled by the strings by Tamar and Darius at this point. Like she knows enough, but not enough where it's like she is going to like be Alex's like demise. If that makes any sense.
Real quick from the chat, I like this quote from Nicholas Kelly. It says, Darius is kind of like the true father. The boy learned more from him than his own damn biological father. So it's kind of like we're seeing Darius take on this fatherly role for Alex, whereas like opposed to, Jeffrey, he's not being the father that he could be, that Alex would look up to. Speaking of the Wilders, we learned that Angel, Catherine, there's so many names to memorize. Catherine and Jeffrey, they have their own agenda against the Pride. They have their meeting and they're like, okay, like, she was like, I thought we were done with Pride. And then our boy Jeffrey's like, we're gonna work around with them. So what do you think about their kind of own little...
I love that she's like, we're assassins now. And he's like, always have been. We just have new targets.
Yes.
And I'm like, dang.
So there's alliances forming now.
Definitely.
Within the Pride, which is going to be just a SHIT show soon.
Yeah.
Really.
And they talk about them like not wanting to faction off and no more secrets, but I feel like we've set that boundary of no more secrets so many times. And you kind of see those parallels between the kids and their parents too.
Definitely. Well, that's enough about them. The Wilders, we talked a bunch about them. Chat's like, move on. Next, Runaways. Guys, there's so much to talk about. It's ridiculous. So why don't we get on to this amazing fight scene. And this was in episode 2, I believe, because the Pride versus the Runaways, our girl Tina killed Graciela. And Molly was just torn from this because that was her last like blood relative.
Yeah.
So this led to the fight later on in episode 2. What were your thoughts on this? Because I was waiting for a fight scene. That's what I wanted in season 1, and we didn't get it.
Well, Ish.
It
wasn't fleshed out.
But season 2 is already lit.
Yeah.
Tina, you didn't have to kill her though. I just like, couldn't you just say
She
choke?
made her choke.
Like, couldn't you just say choke and then stop and like then hit her with that little mind wipe? Like, you didn't have to kill her though.
Very true.
Like, it was seriously some voodoo magic happening. Like, her cheeks were coming in. You saw that, like, that puff of breath. Why? She have to die.
I think she's in it for the power now. Like, before I could see, like, the sweet parts of her, like, wanting to save her relationship and save her relationship with her daughter, too. But I feel like all bets are off with her now. And it's straight up about the power. And she really, really wants it.
The Pride means business this season. Maybe not the Yorks. Stacey and Dale, they're a little, like, Graciela had a Glock. She was like, set a silencer on that. She's like, I can't disrupt the neighbors. Gotta put this on, take out the Yorks. But, I mean, in a way, I love that you bring that up. She didn't have to kill her, but at the same time, Tina was like, nope, we gotta eliminate her as soon as possible. So,
but Graciela was a G. Like, come on, she was a straight up G.
she's a Hernandez, Molly. Like, you don't mess with them.
I loved her so much, and I really wanted to see that relationship with Molly develop a little bit
know.
more, and I'm sad that we didn't get to see that.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so much more of her background and her identity to be explored,
Yes.
and that was like our one hope of figuring it out. I don't know how we're
know.
going to get that backstory for her now.
Exactly, because we still don't know how Molly got her powers. We kind of got this idea that she got like the rocks I think they're from space. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Alien-ish.
I'm wearing a NASA shirt. So I'm not an expert. I'm a fraud, like the Pride. But yeah, we're definitely seeing Molly take on this Avenger role now because she's a little. She wants redemption for Graciela's death.
And on one hand, I understand that, but on the other hand, I'm just like, Molly, you're talking about being together, and you're not. Everybody still is like, it's almost like mirroring their parents in a way.
Yeah.
Whether they realize it or not, they're mirroring their parents. Not to say they're evil because they do have good intentions, but the best laid plans leads the road of hell, guys.
Yeah.
If you have not figured that out.
Yeah, I want to see her grow emotionally and in that sort of strength and confidence the way that she has come into this physical strength. Because I feel like she doesn't quite have it right yet.
She's still the youngest, so like her emotion, like, and they're runaways too. So I feel like she hasn't really had the chance to be in touch enough with her emotions for it to grow enough. And she's not talking to Gert. She just wants to use her strength to solve the problem. But physical strength will only get you so far, as Tina has showed you, babe.
What? Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. I was gonna say something. I forgot. But I love the scene, like, where Nico, she's a Wiccan, so they had their little send
Wiccan
off
funeral.
For her. That was so sweet. All the homeless people banded together. That was such a touching moment.
I want to touch on something Nas said, how she really loves Tina. She's her favorite, and I love seeing her soft side, but they framed her as this evil woman and like the worst of the pride when they're all supposed to be bad guys. Just, on one hand, I do agree with you what you're saying, but on the other hand, they're all different levels of bad and evil.
Yeah.
No one's ever going to be the same or at the same level as another person when it comes to bad deeds. So on the frame, like, it's playing on those different levels as well. That's what we're seeing, different levels of the parents, different levels of the kids, and how they're dealing with things. Evil, bad, good is all subjectives, all, very
I totally
up in
agree.
the air.
I remember last season when Angel was here, Angel Parker, who plays Catherine, she said there's no villains in this show. Yeah. Except maybe Jonah. But even Jonah, like, you kind of like, we don't know him, so like, can we call him a villain, So I don't know. We're gonna have to watch the rest of the season, y'all.
I think it really dives into the nature versus nurture narrative, and unfortunately we don't know a lot of their backgrounds, but it's all these situational elements that are causing them to kind of change the power structure constantly, because there's never just one person who's the leader with the parents or with the kids. It's constantly switching around, and I feel like it depends on what's at stake and who is at risk.
And it's like everyone, I feel like, definitely has like a strong motivation from where they're coming from, and it's like, just like you said, like, not everyone understands where they're coming from exactly. So it's just hard. I feel like it's such a great show. There's so many great characters. Even sometimes I look at some of the Runaways, and I'm like, some of the kids, I'm like, what are you thinking? I'm ready for the pride at this point with some of their actions.
Well, I mean, again, they're still kids, and they're they're teenagers who grew up wealthier than most.
They had some pretty good upbringings.
They had some great upbringings. So,
but with a lot of mommy and daddy issues.
I mean,
especially with
everybody.
Like Chase and Victor.
I think it's funny when they stole the dude's car and Gert was just like pretty white privilege for the win. Guys,
this show's whoa.
It really is, and I'm sorry, guys, if you do not believe in white privilege.
It's always like the little remarks here and there.
Definitely.
It shows you a little bit like, hey, let's just have an argument. As well, give me the keys to my Range Rover. Yeah. And this guy's completely not paying attention. He's on his phone. Yeah. And the other girl that was with him, she's looking at her nails or something. How do you know your car is not missing, lady? Where are you in your head?
They could probably buy another one. Let's face it.
They could.
But that's what I love. I just spit. Sorry. That's what I love about comics. Just because I feel like especially with Marvel, it's so heavy with social commentary, and I love that we're being able to see the Runaways live action, have this social commentary, have the diversity of the cast, and just really bringing out so many issues that are going on today. Even in 2019, we're still suffering from so much discrimination and whatnot. The
homelessness of LA and I love that about this season is really showing that part of LA and that much need, because the homeless situation in LA is ridiculous. Yeah.
And like, especially if you're from LA and you're watching this and you see places in LA, you're just like, oh my God, like it means a little bit. I don't know. It's just like,
it means a lot more to you.
I guess so.
Because you want to be able to, like, Caroline said, fix the world that they broke. Because that's why we still procreate. We have kids because we want them to fix all the broken things that we have done as a community and as a united form of a state. We want this world to be fixed.
Preach. This is why I listen to Chae for her advice. I do not listen to the Church of the Geborum, okay? I don't go to that church.
10 out of 10 would not recommend that.
I actually would just be a Wiccan. I would choose to be Nico if that's the case.
Well, we have to talk about Nico's love interest, Carolina. She's kind of coming to terms with who she is, and she wants to learn where she comes from. Like, she's an alien, or is she? But she gets closer to Jonah, and we're kind of like, oh my gosh, is she going to be the mole? Like, I don't know what they're going to do with Carolina. She's getting closer to this antagonist that we're so accustomed to from season 1. So, and she has to learn how to use her powers. It was so cool to see her lose the bracelet. And the bracelet's what shielded her from her true form. So, and also, Jonah is trying to resurrect...
his family.
He's trying to resurrect Victor Stein, too.
Well, that too, but mostly his family.
So what do you think about Carolina and her relationship with Nico, which I totally ship?
I like it.
I love it.
I think it's adorable. Yes, interracial. For the win.
I know you ship Alex and Nico.
I think they balance each other out.
I'm sorry.
Too.
Ajane, who plays Livy, I'm down for that love. Yes, black love, that, because they're a very beautiful couple.
They are.
You see them side to side, you're just like,
She gave him cornrows.
you're gonna have good kids.
She gave him the new look.
Them cornrows are nice.
She hooked him up.
Those are some nice braids. I'm not gonna trip.
Well, it's also nice to see. Any more thoughts on Carolina and Nico? We talked enough about Alex.
I just think they need to really besides just cementing who they are as a couple, because they're still going to have their own bumps in the road, because obviously they're living
on
in a
the
mansion.
road.
Right. But I think they need to figure out at their core, as long as they don't let this, the situation tear them apart, the secrets tear them apart, hopefully we're all good.
Yeah.
Because I think they're going to be a very strong couple. They just both need to figure out, because I feel like now that, if we're on episode 2 now, the fact that Nico has a staff, she might be turning slowly into Tina.
Yeah, that's worrisome.
I actually wrote that. After she got the staff of one, is the staff of one now turning her the way it turned Tina?
So we're basically, it was brought up earlier, we're seeing pride kind of manifest into the Runaways as well.
Right.
And we're seeing, alliances kind of form, and people are holding secrets from each other. So it's like, no, this is not what we want. We don't want to follow in the footsteps of the pride at all.
But unfortunately, sometimes not all the time, because it's a choice, but sometimes we do end up manifesting our parents. Whether that's a good or bad thing, time will only tell.
A shout out to Janet, our girl Janet, the mom of Chase. I love that we're getting spotlight for Janet, because Janet is a smart woman. People discriminate against her because she was quote unquote just like a housewife, but no, she went to school. That's where she met Victor. And so it's nice to see her get a bigger role this season, because not Victor, Jonah enlists the help of her this season in order to figure out how the hell we're going to get Victor back.
But in a patronizing way, thank you so much for bringing me the specs, but I don't need you to build it.
That's true. But I love that Janet's not no fool. She's she knows, I can't really trust him, but I also want to get my husband back. So.
No, she's definitely not. I'm so glad she did not get in that box. I was so worried that was going to happen.
Because people like to write her off as totally expendable, and I don't agree with that at all.
But that's also something they do with people who have been in domestic violence situations, especially the wife. She is a victim. Even though I think that also just makes her the more stronger person, because she has dealt with that pain for however long that couple has been in their relationship. Don't sleep on Janet. She is strong as the day is long, and she wants her husband and she wants her son. Those are the 2 things that are most important to her over anything.
And Absolutely. She's really been the motivating factor behind Chase even wanting to pursue a relationship with his father, despite the constant violence, emotionally and sometimes physical from him.
Yeah.
Because I feel like she knows that a son will need his father, just with Alex and Darius a little bit.
Yeah, and I know Janet did shoot Victor, but Victor was crazy. He was
and it was self-defense.
Exactly.
How many times are they gonna bring that up? Okay, I shot my husband because he almost killed my son. Which one did you want me to let go? I'm sorry to tell you that. I really have an issue with that brought up. He's about to kill my son, the one that came out of him. I brought to life. Yeah, I'm not letting that happen. You all need to sit down. I want her to snap on them.
Yeah, I think Janet's one of the most trustworthy members of Pride. I don't see her as bad as some of the other people. Tina, I'm looking at you. No,
absolutely.
But I definitely see she's such a forgiving character too. No matter what, she just wants her family back. Even Victor, even in his state of being abusive in the past, she just wants everything.
She wants that person she fell in love with back.
Yeah.
And I think you see a lot of her qualities in Chase too.
Yeah.
How he's always kind of taking care of everyone else and putting out fires.
Or starting some.
That's like a metaphor, but also
literally.
I love it. I love it so much.
And they finally got the gauntlets back. So yay, Old Lace, come through.
Fist
Old
to guns.
Lace.
Oh, I got to shout out to Old Lace because I'm so happy that we're going to see Old Lace more this season, because Old Lace is with them. You can't hide the dinosaur. Okay, you can hide the dinosaur. Because it's a puppet. That's a puppet. Well, it's like a combination of
6 human beings and a puppet.
Yeah, and sometimes it is CGI, but like it's so cool that we're also still giving love to practical effects in the show too. So that's awesome.
She's the GOAT. 100%. Like she always jumps in at like a moment's notice.
I mean, all Gert got to do is like come, growl.
Oh
Come on,
my
psychic
gosh.
link.
Just blow that whistle.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's talk. Well, speaking of Gert and Chase, let's talk about them and Old Lace. We got to show some more love to Old Lace because she's the star of the show. Let's be real. So what are you guys' thoughts on Gert's and Chase relationship?
I'm so happy. I was just like, Gert, I need you to get over. Obviously, you saw somebody dead, you running away. I understand, babe, but you do have feelings for this dude. You've had him for like probably more than a couple years. So when the opportunity presents itself, don't snap at the dude.
Yeah.
But I get it because you're hurt and you don't know, what we are and how it's gonna really affect me. Maybe he doesn't like me as much as I like him, and I don't want to be the first one to say, "Oh, hey, I like you," because obviously we all have a fear of rejection, but I still have to be on the run with you too.
Yeah.
Yeah. After being so vulnerable with Chase too, I didn't see her making that first move to figure out what is the status. So I really liked that he kind of stripped off the athletic jock mask he's been hiding under a lot, even though he's no longer like rolling with that crowd. I feel like he's still been hiding under that, but I like that he showed some vulnerability and made that move towards her.
I really did like that. Because Chase and Gert they're very well matched, and I think it really had to be him like, hey, like,
because they're opposites, they attract.
Yeah, but it's also just like, hey, I need you to tell me what's going on because you're snapping at me for no reason now. Like, it's only 2 of us, so you can talk to me at this point.
Yeah.
Like, am I doing something wrong? Why do you hate me? I'm sorry we, did that do in the season 1.
They did the deed. They did the dirty whatever.
I said did the do, but I was trying to keep it classy for you too, okay?
No, they definitely check each other though. It's checks and balances with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's cool to finally make it official, like you guys brought up. And it's in episode 2, we saw them work together, and when they had to restore the lights, the power to the hostel that
I mean,
they're
it was
now
mostly
living
Gert,
in.
but we'll take it.
But it was so cool. Like
That was such a
obviously-
beautiful moment.
It really was. She let him have it too. She was just like, yeah, babe, you had it. You distracted them. It was right on time.
And I also love that Chase, he is like known as a jock, but he's actually really smart as well. Like, don't sleep on Chase. We can't sleep on any of these characters. Let's be real. But yeah, and I'm excited to see more of Gert's telepathic connection to Old Lace too, and seeing her. We saw her command Lace when the workers were coming into the hostel, and she was like, "Come, go." Growl. That was so cool, and I want to see Old Lace just fight some people.
I want a little more background on that too and how that happened, because her parents seemed very surprised when they first walked in on all of them, and they're like, "That's interesting." Like she responds to you.
Yeah. How do you have how do you have a telepathic connection to a dinosaur? I'd love to know.
Because I feel like her Old Lace's vent was either in her room or Molly's room, and when I guess she was singing to Molly.
Yeah.
She heard it. So that was like, in a way, that was bonding. Like, that's her mom. Like, in a way, dinosaurs used to,
that was the voice she heard.
Yeah. So she could always consider like, oh, this might be my mom. And okay, when my mom says goes, attack, got you.
Well, I'm just worried for Gert, honestly, because she needs her medication. She's medicationless, if that's a word. And she's just freaking out, like we brought up earlier. And I just don't want this to go in like a bad route. Like, I'm worried. I don't know. Are you guys worried at all?
I think this is a perfect way for her to deal with it, because I also think Chase helps her with that in the same way. He's able to, bring her down, calm her down, and so she can really talk it through. Because I think that's also her problem. She's really anxiety up. She lashes out instead of actually listening, and so Chase actually gets her to listen, because they can fight it out, but he can reach in there and get in her enough to calm, and she can take a deep breath. I feel like it's actually might be good for her to figure out how to be without the meds.
Yeah.
And see who she is as a person without it.
Chase is going to be like her anti-drug kind of.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Gert has a lot of clutches in life. I think a big one is being a social justice advocate. Like being an advocate for others helps her to take on their causes, so she doesn't have to worry about what's going on inside herself, inside her family, inside her home.
Yeah, definitely. And also she is a social justice warrior. However, she's like the rest of the Runaways, hasn't like been through a whole lot, and now that they're thrown into the fire, they're seeing all these issues. They're seeing the homeless. They're seeing a dead body. That also just throws more fuel to the fire. But she's like, oh my gosh, like I stand for so much, but this is me actually trying to do something to help people, and it's like scary, you know. So this is something completely new to her. So it's going to be really interesting, and I hope nothing bad happens to my Gertie. Shout out to the chat. Sebra said, yeah, the telepathic thing makes no sense. In the comics, her parents put the link there to protect her. I remember that. But in the show, it's just by accident. So that's kind of like interesting. But I think I like what you said, Chae, that maybe it was her singing that brought off the connection somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he also said maybe she could live without the meds, or maybe she actually needs them to be balanced. I think the only way you truly know who you are as a person, because you've used the meds so much as a crutch, is to take yourself cold turkey off the meds.
Yeah.
Because meds usually just block things.
Yeah.
And now that she's experiencing everything, like you said, it's becoming a whole new world. And I feel like this is going to be what's great for her. She has to figure out how to not block things out. I mean, blocking things out is good because we do it as teenagers. Sometimes we do it as adults too. That's how we get through the day.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can't block things out anymore.
But it can also be dangerous to take yourself off of mental health medications because you're not supposed to unless you're weaned off of them. And what if she has to go to the doctor? Like, how is that going to work?
That's why I'm worried.
I feel like at least one of these characters is going to have to get in some sort of medical emergency where they need to go to a doctor. What's going to happen then?
Definitely.
Go to veterinary clinic.
Shay's like, Gert's gonna be fine. Over here, me and Megan are just like, oh God, what's gonna happen to Gert? I'm worried.
I like to play devil's advocate, okay? I like to see the other side of things. And I really believe this will be good for her. I really do.
Okay.
Because sometimes I think we put kids on medication to
suppress things.
To suppress things or too soon before you actually figuring out what's the root problem. Because it's easier for you. So I feel like once we figure out what Gert's root problem is, and why she has this much anxiety and things that she needs to block everything out, it'll help her in a very more fundamental way than the mess that she was taking ever did.
We'll have to wait and see. Any more before we move on to our special segment of the week? Any more thoughts about the characters we missed? We didn't really talk about our girl Nico.
I mean, yeah, I still want to get into that fight real quick. Because
Tina
came to play today, guys.
Tina took on... How did we skim over this? Tina took on 3 of the Runaways. Molly and Carolina, those are the powerhouses. And Nico. 3 of the strongest. They're the strongest. I'm saying it. They're the strongest. Top 3 of the Runaways. And she took them all out. She froze the... How are you going to freeze your own pool? Like, poor Molly.
I'm like, you really going to kill Molly, Tina? That's what we're doing today?
I was like bummed with Carolina. I feel like Carolina held back. I'm like, no, use your light powers. Like, what are you doing?
Well, she's still trying to harness them.
This is true. Thing. Yeah. That's true.
Carolina's a little suspect for me now. Like, we all want to gang up on Alex. I want to suspect Carolina today. I will be the lone holdout on that, okay? And everybody can fight me on it. I am ready for that.
Well, no, I think she's just hidden behind the church for a really long time, and that was a huge part of her identity. And realizing that, oh, maybe this isn't such a good thing. That's a lot to grapple with. And now she has all those newfound powers that she doesn't know where they came from. I think she's dealing with a lot of identity issues, and she's really coming from a place of fear as strong as she might have seen before.
Definitely. She's going through this new self-discovery of herself, and also her sexuality as well, feeling like this alien, feeling that you have to hide yourself. And like, I think now she's getting advice and help from Jonah. I think she's really coming into who she is and who she wants to be. I hope. She's not, but Chae over here is not buying anything we're selling today. That's totally fine.
No, look, let me explain. I am listening. I am taking everything you're saying to heart. Has it changed my opinion? We will find out.
I love as the episodes go by. We're debating. I love it. No, I'm so excited to talk about this.
Like, I'm not disagreeing. I'm taking it in. I'm processing it. But I felt bad for Robert a little bit because he it's not just like him being the emotional cop like Nico called him. He does truly love his daughter.
Yeah.
He does want them to be a family. And Tina at the same time, she does love her daughter. But I'm like, girl, she is your daughter. So sometimes that means she's not like Amy, which means she has your same stubbornness, hard-headedness. That just means you're well matched. So when you give her an ultimatum like that, what did you think she was going to do?
Yeah.
Did you really think she was going to choose to stay after you almost killed Molly? You almost killed her girlfriend. Oh, I'm just going to stay here and be a happy family today.
Yeah.
That's what we're
Definitely.
going to do.
Nico was like, given the choice, should I stay, not get the staff, or should I leave and get the staff? But that shows a lot in Tina's character. She gave that staff not to be defeated by Nico, but she gave that staff to Nico to protect her, the staff of one. So that showed a lot in Tina's character. And
But there was a better way to do it. I think I just wanted to state that for Tina.
Okay.
Like, there was a better way to give up the thing that you felt the most powerful with to your daughter, to your flesh and blood that you love, and still having a way to say that. Be careful what this power is going to do you because it did it to me. Like a little, just a pre-warning.
Well, we
maybe.
got to get that backstory for Tina. And I shout out to the chat. Where are you? I totally saw you. Oh, So Chill says, I so want to know Tina's backstory since I don't read the comics. I think it would be interesting. I will say that a lot of the characters in the comics, the parents especially, their backstories aren't really fleshed out because Brian K. Vaughan, when he wrote the series, he was afraid that it was going to get canceled. So it goes by really fast. But I love that Brian K. Vaughan is involved in the series because he gets to now finally have the opportunity to flesh out his characters. So shout out the chat. I will say for Robert, we kind of forget about Robert sometimes, but I love what you said about him because he was willing to put his life on the line to protect his family. Remember that? In the box, he was like, I'll go in the box. And so we can't forget about him. And I definitely think he's another trustworthy Pride member who he doesn't want to kill anyone, you know? So
He just wants his family or the family he has loved. But he also told us something interesting about Tina, though, too. You gave a volatile 16-year-old the staff that made you who you were today. Did you think that was smart?
Maybe she...
I don't know. I was
What do you guys think in the chat, in the comments? Let us know. Keep the discussion going. What were you saying, Megan?
I was really mad at Robert after he had an affair, but showing that sort of like sacrificial love and willing to like give it all up for his family and for the people he loves, that kind of gave me a new respect for him. And I'd like to see him kind of wear the pants more in that relationship because he's really not right now. And I feel like he could be a voice of reason.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying him and Janet cheating together was the right thing to do. However, I do understand it.
Yeah.
Because both their significant others, very strong, in-your-face people, and they're more the quiet type, but they're also just want to run over you. So when you're getting run over for however many years you've been married, you might I can understand why you went for the next sweet innocent Janet over there and sweet innocent Robert over here. But I just need y'all to put up your pants on. Tell your significant others what's going to happen today. Like, I legit want a whole flip for them and then character-wise. I legit need a flip for them.
Yeah.
I'm just like looking at the chat because they're like, you guys forgot that they murdered 16 Runaways. And I'm like,
we didn't forget anything,
we're
guys.
also very forgiving.
Yeah.
We try to see the good in everything,
And also, because just like, Angel said, there are no villains. And when you think of it in that way, because we as kids and we are just as an audience watching this amazing show, we are and loving superhero movies. We are to see villains and heroes, but sometimes a villain's not exactly a villain, and you also have to see that too at the same time. No one's, unless you're Thanos, okay. I just really have to throw that out there. But no one's truly just all evil. They're all layers to people and individuals. And once you kind of see that, it makes now for me harder to just villainize a person.
Yeah.
It makes it harder for me as a person and as a viewer.
Yeah, and I think we just kind of have to reevaluate kind of that antagonistic role and kind of like that villain role too. Because looking at the villain, you can kind of like argue the antagonist or the protagonist is kind of like the villain of the antagonist. Well, we're getting deep here, guys. Yeah. Unfortunately, we're going to have to start wrapping up. But before we wrap up with our predictions, our special giveaway, we have to get to our special segment of the week. So let's get right to it, where we go delve into the comic books and bring out a character or something in the comics that we see translated to live action form. So this week, we're going to be talking about the hostel that the Runaways are in. Okay, that's really cool, but there was a difference in this particular adaptation with the hostel. It used to be under the Bread Tar Pits in the comic books, but we couldn't do that probably for production reasons. So now it's actually in the Griffith Observatory near that
In the
area.
hills,
They're
yeah.
up in the
really
hills.
cool.
It's pretty bougie up there.
Yeah, and
In a hidden mansion. Like, hell, I just need to know where this mansion came from.
No, I want to know the backstory for
Yeah,
that.
it's
for
funny
sure.
because it's kind of like matter of fact in the show, but in the comic books, when it was under the Brea Tar Pits, that was actually, you'll see, if you look closely, you can kind of see the Pride in their portrait. It belonged to the Pride. It's an old, used to be an old hideout. So I don't know if I don't think it's the Pride at all, because I feel like they would know, like, if
somebody was there.
you know? So it's just kind of an underground mansion in the show. But yeah, I wanted to shout out to the hostel. But yeah, what do you guys think about the hostel?
I'm just trying to. You found a mansion, a deserted one with a sweet.
The Rolls Royce.
Oh my gosh, a sweet classic car.
Yeah.
I just want to drive.
You drive on the right side.
Like come on. Like I was with Chase on this one. I'm super excited. I found a Rolls Royce, just like in mint condition.
Free. And Chase is just like,
No, I feel like there's going to be like a lull in the drama at some point, and we're going to get like a classic sequencing of them really like cleaning up the place and making it look nice, and I'm totally here for that.
I'm glad that they got power on. However, you need running water. Like, I need to go to the bathroom. I need
I'm
practice
sitting
good
here
hygiene.
wondering the last time they showered.
Me
because for
too.
the most part, they look pretty put together. And when they turn the lights on, they're like, look at us. And I'm like,
Yes, and then like they're Carolina's skin,
Glowing.
Molly's hair is always great. Nico's makeup is always beat. You know, like I'm just like,
yeah. I was like, when did you have the time to put on that much eyeliner? You've been like running for a week.
I mean, I will say Carolina's skin has gotten a little darker, so it's kind of showing because she's the palest. Like she's next to Nico, she's like the palest. Palest. What's the word? Pale white person.
the most pale.
I cannot say palest. I'm saying pale white person of the show. There it is, because it really was not working, guys. I tried my best. But on to the giveaway.
Oh yes.
Yes.
We are also gonna get some more guests in. So we're gonna be giving a special guest this. This is a mint condition comic book courtesy of Ollie over here.
Yes,
the good
guys.
the good die young.
Yeah, we got a cover of Gert and our girl Old Lace up in there. It's numbers 13 through 18, if I'm correct. That's kind of like the end of the first run of Brian K. Vaughan's Runaways. So, and like you said, we might have some special guests that can sign it, and that's the grand prize. But we also have some other prizes, so there'll be multiple winners. So, what do we have to do to win that prize, Chae?
So guys, to win, we're gonna give you 2 chances. One, leave a comment under each YouTube video. I will put everything in a hat. And we're just gonna pick. That's how we're gonna pick it, like we did from the first season. And also, if you are listening to us right now on iTunes, give us 5 stars, leave a review, tell us how much you love the show, because we know you do if you're listening, because we love it as well. And we're so excited for this season. We're gonna try to get so many guests in here for you guys to give you more prizes and more chances to win.
Yes, definitely.
So hopefully, at least most of you will be a winner after the season ends.
But it's like it's so easy to do, guys. It's free, and you're gonna get this awesome prize, possibly, and maybe another prize. You just gotta leave that 5-star review in the comments or on iTunes, whatever you can. And you can use like a 4 or a 3, but you won't be eligible. You gotta get that 5-star.
I only do a 5. Right?
Yeah,
There's no
I'm a
reason not to
5-star
enter this. No reason.
We're 5-star chicks here.
5-star.
Like the
chicks.
song.
We're 5-star runaways.
We're 5-star runaways. Yeah, I love that.
We're wrapping up now, so we have to get to predictions and what's gonna happen. So,
And now,
we go.
your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
okay, chat, commenters, let us know your predictions. But I gotta ask my panel of runaways, what do you guys think is gonna happen?
I think we're going to see Carolina and Jonah's relationship evolve a
Yes.
little bit. And I'm kind of sensing that I might even be able to empathize with Jonah, which is a
Okay.
scary thought. I know
little
we're
bit.
already empathizing with the Pride here who killed how many people, which was kind of Jonah's fault. It's fine. But, like, even that one little fatherly moment they had when, like, the earthquake started and they were on top of the hill and he grabbed her and held her.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, aw, like, this is your fault, but also, aw, that's sweet. So, I don't know. I feel like it'd be interesting to kind of see his backstory, and I'm curious about this family of theirs we're going to get to meet.
What's in that hole? Like, what's under that hole?
Besides
Chae,
the
what do you think?
huge truck.
A giant truck. For me, I want to see where Livy's and Alex's relationship goes because I really want to figure out how much of Darius and Tamar are either using her or not using her in a way to, you know, bring Alex in, because whatever deal he's going to make with Jeffrey is not going to end well, most likely for Darius.
Oh.
So I'm just going to be stunned if I am, you know, proven wrong today.
Yeah. Things aren't looking good for Darius because I remember Jeffrey and the Wilders, they said, like, we're going to have to frame someone. Like, so I'm like, someone who's already guilty. So I'm like, Darius did some time already, so they're probably going to, like, frame him. And Catherine, she got the connections. She's a lawyer. Like, they run that city. So I'm just like, oh, boy, Darius. I think the show is going to follow suit of the mole theory. I think there is a traitor in the Runaways. But I don't know, like, if they're going to continue this exactly the same way they did in the comics. So you were going to say something?
I was going to say, and I also want to predict Janet's going to come in for that win. Either she's going to build the box herself to prove she can do it, when she's just as smart as her husband, or miraculously Victor is going to figure out a way to do it from his mind. You know?
But does that mean there's going to be another sacrifice? I'm not ready
No
for
more
that.
sacrifices.
No more, please.
We've forgiven them.
We're tired of innocent people dying, okay?
Yeah. R.I.P. Destiny and the other 16 Runaways that died because of the Gibberum.
Gaborum.
My bad. Gibberum. I always want to say Gibberum. Any more thoughts before we leave, y'all?
I just want to say thank you to the chat, everybody who's in here.
Yeah, shout them out.
Sabras, Nicholas Kelly, Delaric Simpson, Ivan, Nas, So Chill 4, Renji, you're awesome.
Yes.
LeBron Underwood, last year's winner, I believe.
Oh.
And
right.
everybody else I might be missing because there's a lot of you in here. We so appreciate all your theories.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And if I'm missing out anyway, just, you know,
yeah.
pick some new.
And if you didn't tune in live, keep the discussion going.
Oh, Ghost
Tweet at
8386.
Tweet at us. Leave us a comment. Send us something. Remember to do that giveaway. Give us that 5-star review. Well, Runaways, we got to wrap up, but where can we find you on social media?
Hey guys, you can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram, and tomorrow you can find me in this one right here on Good Trouble at 8 o'clock.
Yes, and you can find me at Meagan Lynn TV. Hit me up. I love talking about this show. I want to hear your theories.
Yes. Me too. We're also we also have a fourth runaway, Mina. Mina makes magic. Follow her on all social media. So show her some love. She will be joining us tomorrow because this season we're doing 2 episodes in After Show, and we're doing it every Monday and Tuesday at 6 p.m. LA time. Until then, I'm your host Ollie Drennan. Love you guys. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ollie Dreamer. We love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Our
Bye,
founder,
guys.
Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.